Well, it's about time someone finally made a Joker figure. Hi everyone and welcome to 16 Figure Focus, and in this video, I can't believe we're back here again. In this video, we are going to take a look at the pre-order images for not one Joker, but two Jokers. Yeah, same Joker, two different versions, the Artisan and the Sculpted version. So, yeah, we're here to take a look at the Hot Toys 1/6 scale Artisan and non-Artisan Sculpted Heath Ledger Joker bank robber version from the Dark Knight trilogy. If you're a fan of the channel, you know I'm a Dark Knight fan. Christopher Nolan, my favorite director. The Dark Knight trilogy, my favorite trilogy. The Dark Knight movie itself, one of my favorite movies. And Heath Ledger's performance as the Joker is one of the most captivating on-screen performances I've ever seen. I'm not bored of the Dark Knight trilogy. I'm not bored of the Dark Knight. I'm not bored of Heath Ledger's performance. But even me as a big fan, I'm getting sick of, like, it's kind of like the Iron Man syndrome. It's like, you know, I like Iron Man as much as the next guy, but I mean, it's we have seen so many versions of this character. Let's like turn the clock back before InArt. Before InArt, you still had multiple different Hot Toys versions of this. Yeah, Sculpted, not that great. I had some myself, but yeah, there was multiple different versions. There was third party and customs. Then InArt came on the scene. They produced an excellent 2-pack. Rooted, they produced a Sculpted as well. A Sculpted single pack and a Sculpted 2-pack. Then you had J&D, then Hot Toys, or with Hot Toys and then J&D and all that stuff. So this has been done to death. And it's funny, I think like there would be less surprise for this if it was a nurse Joker, but for some reason they won't produce the nurse Joker. And they say it's something to do with a hospital, but like, apologies for quick interruption to this video. If you're watching this video right now, hit the like button and more importantly, hit the subscribe button. It really helps me grow the channel and the support is greatly appreciated. Back to the video. I'm not buying that. I'm just not buying that. I don't know why. So look, the interesting thing about this is during both my live stream, the Hope Show last night, and I did a big long video on the Secret Base teaser images that came out showing this and the RoboCop 2, RoboCop and Kane, and the Sam Porter from Death Stranding 2, and those Iron Mans and the big chap, and the big video, and I had a poll running, and I just said, okay, you can only have 4 options in those polls when you add a poll during a live stream or a premiere on YouTube. So I said, what are you most hyped about? And like there was a lot of people watching those videos and a lot of people watching the stream as well, and the question was, what are you most hyped about? Bank Robber Joker, Big Chap, the RoboCop 2 stuff, or the Sam Porter stuff? I just selected those. I figured not too many people would be enamored by those Iron Mans that they had. And number 1 was Big Chap, followed by the Bank Robber Joker during the premiere. Now, during the stream, it was still Big Chap, and I then think it was followed by RoboCop 2. But my point is, there's still a market for this. Look, the trilogy it's still a fantastic trilogy. The Dark Knight movie, it is a huge part of pop culture. It's a huge part of Batman's history. So there's still is a market for it, and they must love it over there in Asia as well. So it's still huge. It's still a great movie. People are still interested in it. But even as a fan, I'm kind of like, I wouldn't say I'm over the Heath Ledger Joker, because the performance I still appreciate, but I think there's too many versions available of this Joker. So with that being said, I can't rule this out. For things like the Star Wars sequels, my default setting is I'm not interested. For things like any of the Marvel, MCU, Disney Plus TV shows, any figures from that, not interested, because I think they're shite. I have yet to actually go back and rewatch any of them. Did not like them, so therefore I'm not going to collect them. These are expensive. These are, high quality, very expensive pieces, and between space and money, it's not worth my while putting my hand in my pocket to shell out some of my discretionary income on a character from a movie or TV show that I didn't think was good. Why would I do that? As in, there's characters out there based on movies and TV shows that I love, but I still can't justify spending the money on him because there's other characters that trump them. Big Chap, for example, awesome, fantastic announcement. Like, that's coming home any day of the week. Something from the Terminator, the original Predator, those things take precedence. And stuff from the Dark Knight, yes. So this here, my thoughts on this is where I'm going with this. I think I'm gonna take a look at all these images, right? I'm gonna show you the prices, but before I start into this, my thoughts on this is, I had a bank robber Joker. I think it was a Daft Toys kit, and I had like a generic body to put on it, and it was fine. But over time, because Hot Toys are getting better and better, and in-art came on the scene, it just gradually looked cheap compared to the other ones, so I got rid of it. I would like a bank robber Joker, but I don't think I need an artisan one for two reasons. One, I am not sold on the Hot Toys rooted artisan hair, whatever you want to call it, because I still think, I don't even think, I know in-art do better rooted hair. I'm saying that like it's a fact. I don't need to add in my opinion on everything I say on my own channel, because a lot of it, they're either facts or they're my opinions. So in-art have the edge on that. I think subjectively, objectively, whichever way you look at it. Some of the artisan, like if you look at the artisan Anakin that was first put up, the prototype, that was one of the best prototypes I've ever seen. The rooted hair was fantastic, but it wasn't like that on the release. I've seen some of the releases. I had that in hand myself. I got it, I bought it, I gave it away in my channel. I took it out of the box and had a look at it. It was okay, but it wasn't in-art standard. And like, unfortunately, like, where we come to a situation where we do kind of compare the best with something that's not necessarily the best. So if I was to get an artisan figure, and if it's next to, say, one of the in-art figures that has exceptional rooted hair, like the Paul Atreides from Dune, or like 3 out of the 4 Joaquin Phoenix Jokers that have fantastic rooted hair, I'll naturally kind of go, well, that looks good and that doesn't look that great. So if you go through them all, I will get to this, by the way, just this will take 1 minute. If you go through them all, neither of the Anakins turned out as good as it did in the prototype images. Definitely that light side artisan Anakin, the hair did not turn out as good as it was in the prototype. The prototype images for the artisan Heath Ledger Joker, I was never sold on in the prototype images, and to be honest, I think what it turned out with, it's too thick. I think it's too thick, and I'm not even talking about the glue issues or the hair falling out issues, because that's a QC thing, and in-art have their QC issues as well. The Luke, the Dark Empire Luke, the artisan one, the prototype images in that looked fine. The blogger images looked fantastic, especially it was a bit shorter. But then I saw some views and I'm like, that's not that great. Now, the best one I think that Hot Toys have done, the best artisan hair they've done so far, I'm not talking about prototypes, they don't matter, we want to see the real thing, is actually the Joaquin Phoenix one. But even still, the sideburns on that looked like they just had longer, it looked like they were actually longer and then they just cut them off. And then the hair still has a bit too much volume, although I didn't think was it, what's that guy, really good figure hideout, he does really good unboxings, reviews, shorts. His shorts on that, it actually looked really good. I'm talking about specifically the Joaquin Phoenix red suit, the Hot Toys artisan version, it actually looked quite good. But still the hair has those issues, so I think that was probably the best artisan hair job that I've seen from Hot Toys, probably was that Joaquin Phoenix one. So I'm not sold on the artisan. And look, I have the Black Widow, artisan Black Widow on order because it looks incredible. The prototype's one of the best prototypes I've ever seen in terms of the likeness and the hair. But I'm skeptical that it's going to turn out like that. So it could be my first and last one that I've ordered. Hopefully it will. So this here, straight away, I can say this rooted hair, I know it's not rooted, but neither is in-art, but like this looks good. It does look good. I can't deny that this looks good. But my point is, will it turn out properly? Will it be consistent? Because I've seen as well that some of the blogger images upon release of the artisan hair on the figures looks quite well, but then you see some reviews and you're like, that doesn't look well, that one looks okay, and it's very inconsistent. Right, so going through some of these images, this base, I'm not sure what's going on here. So it's a reuse of the Hot Toys artisan purple coat Joker base, and it seems to be, I think that bottom thing is the same, and then they've jammed on some what looks like this wooden part. Is that supposed to represent the broken glass or something like that? Because he was kind of hid down behind like a table, I believe, in this scene. and then you've got some broken wooden parts here. It doesn't really make much sense to me. The sculpt on this, I think I'm nearly immune to looking at this figure, but they've got his ears right. Heath Ledger had strange little ears, almost like they sit low on his head. Something I've noticed. It looks fine. Yeah, look, there's no mistaking it's Heath Ledger Joker from The Dark Knight. There's no mistaking who it is. The hair looks okay there. Maybe looks a bit short. Tailoring looks fine. Like this suit, from what I remember, isn't like a fitted slim fit, skinny fit type suit anyway. There was definitely a bit of bagginess to it. I wouldn't say bagginess, but it's a looser suit. Plus it was 2008, like it was, the style was different. That right there, I'm interested in. By the way, the price on this is 2,780 Hong Kong dollars, which is 355 US dollars, but that's the base price. That's the secret base price if you walk into secret base and pick it up in cash or whatever. So you're not going to get that with Sideshow. It's going to be probably like a 30% up markup, and then you've got your shippings and then your sales tax or customs or the dreaded tariffs or whatever. If you're ordering from Sideshow in Europe, forget about it. So it'll depend on who you get it from. So, right, flick through some of these. This here, that's the way to go, I think. Like, look, I might still try for this. I'm not sure. It's just I'm skeptical of the Artisan here. That's my point. And by the way, this is limited to, I think, 3,000 worldwide. That looks great. I actually love the way that that must be rooted hair there as well. Is it two separate? It must be two separate sculpts. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna exit out of here for a second. So I'd imagine like there's a unmasked sculpt, as in this one here, and then this sculpt here just had rooted hair sticking out the back. So I'm gonna go and show you what everything comes with. All right. So this here, newly developed head sculpt with separate rolling eyeballs. I do think the head sculpt's good, and I do think the hair looks good here. It just, will it translate from prototype to product? Wool hair implantation. Okay, it does look a bit short though. Does look a bit short. Newly developed masked head sculpt. So you've got the newly developed masked head sculpt. I presume there's the rooted hair, artisan hair, wool hair implantation sticking out the back. So like it is glued on. Like it is, like when I say rooted hair, I just mean like real hair or made out of wool or lamb's wool or whatever it is. So it's not like rooted in, like, you know, one at a time or whatever. Like it's essentially stuck on. So it's implanted, wool hair implantation. So newly developed masked head sculpt. So again, I presume it has this wool implantation out the back. On that, you've got a mask that you can hold just to replicate that very first scene. You've got the bag with all the smoke bombs and grenades. You've got the shotgun, which is a pretty big deal, and you know, you could always give that shotgun to like a purple coat Joker or something like that. The stacks of cash, you've got the smoke grenade with the purple thread that he gives to, I can't remember that guy, he's in a lot of things, he's in Armageddon, I can't remember the guy with the kind of the bank manager, you know, you don't know where you're stealing from, or whatever the line is. Is it, do you know where you're stealing from? You're dead. That guy. The bank manager with the shotgun, I think that's who gets the shotgun off. Bunch of swap out hands, I believe that's a watch, a deck of cards, and you have that gun. It's like it has that extended magazine. I think it's like automatic as well. Now, the school bus diorama is awful. I don't like these cardboard backdrops. I don't use them. They look really, really cheap. Certain things that Hot Toys do, I think look really cheap. Like I won't use it for Bond. I won't use it for this. The cardboard backdrops, I just don't think they look well. I don't use them in the same way that I don't use electricity effects or magic effects. I think it cheapens the look of these high quality figures. I'm going for realism. Even like with posing, once a figure can pose into a character pose, into some sort of a stance or pose that the character would actually stand like in the movie, I'm happy. That might be dynamic, that might be museum, it could be simple. Sometimes less is more. You're not going to have a Vader doing a backflip, you're going to do some sort of a pose, you know. So with that there, the diorama, the backdrop, I won't use that. I think it cheapens the look of the figure. It will come with a metal collectible card if you get the exclusive version. Right, so all that for, like I said, the price area on the base price $350, but it won't really be that. In fairness, the sculpt is very good. The sculpt is very good. You can see the likeness of Heath Ledger underneath there. Probably give it like, I don't think it's perfect. I'd probably give it a solid 8.5, 9 maybe. I don't know what I give it a 9 now. There's something about it I can't put my finger on. It's a solid sculpt. It's a very, very good sculpt. I'm not going to give it a grade just yet, but it'll be good. Separate rolling eyeballs function, newly developed head sculpt. You've got newly developed masked head sculpt with separate rolling eyeballs with wool hair implantation. So it's confirming that it has a second head sculpt. And yes, the masked head sculpt even has separate rolling eyeballs function. That's nice. You have the eyeballs rolling underneath the mask, and also has the wool hair out the back. It wouldn't make sense to do this with sculpted hair out the back, and it wouldn't make sense just to give them the mask and put it on, because if you're putting a mask on a head sculpt that has the rooted hair implantation, you just wreck it. So you've got the bag, you've got the separate mask, you can see a bit of base there, you can see the shotgun and that gun with the kind of extended cartridge. Yeah, all looks good, to be honest. Hair does look a bit short. Hair does look, like, it's not like, I don't know, for some reason I'm not looking at this sculpt going, oh my god, that's mind-blowing. But I think maybe that's because I've seen so many different versions of this. Like, I'm happy with my in-art one. I'm happy with my I've got the rooted hair 2-pack, and that, the way I have this set up, that purple coat Joker, is incredible. I haven't like posed with the, exposing the grenades. All the grenades are pinned to the inside of his jackets, and he's doing that kind of iconic pose from the kitchen scene. And I put a bit of effort into styling the hair. Not much, just needed a little tiny thin paintbrush and a little bit of water just to style the hair so it doesn't go out. Like when I got it, it was good, but I just thought it could be a little bit better, and over time these things might dry out as well. So just a little bit of water and style it. And I'm really, really happy to have it styled. If you want to check out my Instagram or my shorts on YouTube, you'll see how I style that. If you just scroll back through, you'll find it, but I'm quite happy with how it looks. So this here, I'm a bit confused about this table here. Like, during this scene, the bank manager comes out, he shoots, I think, one of the guys at least. He shoots a few shots at this guy. They're counting down to see if he's out or not, and they're hiding out behind this like a bench or something. I always thought it was like not a bench, but like just in banks they have those long time tables and stuff like that. Anyway, I don't know if this bench here that you can see that he has the bag resting on actually comes with the figure or not. That looks really good there. I love that. I'm not sure what expression they're going for. Do you know when he says, what's the line? I should really remember this. It's like, is it what doesn't kill you only makes you stranger or something like that? And he does that smirk. They should have gone for that. I think a common complaint with Joker figures is a lot of them aren't actually laughing or smiling. It's a fair complaint. And here we have another Joker who's not laughing or smiling. Take the memo. Maybe if they do a nurse one, he'd be laughing or smiling, or they give us 2 head sculpts. So, look, I do think it's good. If my hype is a bit low, it's not because I've turned my back on the Dark Knight running. It's just that we've seen numerous different versions of this. This is probably still coming home. I think I might opt for the sculpted version. It's going to take a quick look at now, because it's 1,930 Hong Kong dollars, which is about 245 US dollars. It's going to be a bit cheaper. However, just looking at this, first impressions is Hot Toys are really good at sculpted hair. My first impressions of this is, that's not great. That is not great. Is it the same expression? Interesting, because I've seen them do better sculpted hair. I would go as far as saying I think InArt have improved their sculpted hair. I've said at the start of the video, I've said in multiple videos, InArt have the edge, and it's not even close in terms of rooted hair. But while InArt have improved their sculpted hair, I think Hot Toys have the edge when it comes to sculpted hair. I think their Hot Toys sculpted hair, I think they're better at that. This is not a good example of it though. Now that might change my mind. God, that doesn't look great. The thing is, what I was originally thinking yesterday is opt for the sculpted version, save some money, because what I would be doing is not only to save some money, but to pose it like this with the mask on, like, because that's how I'm more than likely going to pose this with the actual bank rubber mask on. So like you only have to worry about the hair really. So yeah, I'd pose it with the mask on for most of the time and you're saving a bit of money. But after seeing this, having a good look at this, because I only looked at it briefly, I'm a bit confused on this. I would love to pose it like this with the desk. But this desk, is that just Photoshop there? What am I missing here? I don't understand what's happening here. At the bottom here you can see the base, and then you can see that kind of broken bit of wood and tile or whatever it is. And I can't see, there's usually broken glass or something. I wonder, does it switch around two different ways? Because if I look at this thing here, is it the other side of that is actually the wood, or have they just photoshopped this in? That kind of looks a bit, it looks a bit sus the way it's, I think that's photoshopped in there. Because I don't really, I'm not too gone on this here. What is this? Is it supposed to look like broken glass? I think it's supposed to look like broken glass, but it doesn't look see-through. Like, that's what they should have given us. Let me zoom out from this. A pose like that, that's what I'd be thinking. Something like that. To be fair, that looks great as well. But I think I do think, just judging by the photos, right? If the artisan hair came out like this, if I was guaranteed, then I'd be like, right, artisan. But I'm just not convinced by them yet. I think the best poses that I've seen in this one here, yeah, I'm not sold on that rooted hair. Because I remember when, or sorry, I'm not sold on this sculpted hair either. I remember when InArt were announced, and one of the main complaints about the sculpted hair was it kind of looked like green spaghetti, or like it kind of looked like snakes coming off his head. But then again, let's be honest, like, why would you order that when the rooted one turned out so well? It's funny, it doesn't even look too great with the mask on here. I could be changing my mind here. I would like a bank robber Joker. I might leave this on the long finger, because I don't think I'd use that sculpted head sculpt there. And if I go back here, even the way I'd intend on displaying it with the mask, it does actually look better with the hair out the back there. I think it was a good image here. It's a really good image here. There. That's like right out of the movie. I really like that. Yeah, I'm a bit stumped on this one. Yeah, I would like a bank robber Joker, an officially licensed one. Not sure what to do on this one. Maybe I'll take a notion and hop in the queue. Maybe I'll get onto Lion Rock Toys, but yeah, there's a lot coming out. Anyway, that's the end of this video. If you want to support the channel, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment. Let me know if you're picking up either version of these, or are you happy enough with something you have already, or if you just have no interest. You could also follow me on Instagram. That's it. That's the end of the video. See you in the next one. Good luck.